Hi, David O'Sullivan here, and in this video I'm going to be doing a spoiler talk for Star Wars The Force Awakens. So it goes without saying that there's a spoiler warning. I'm going to be talking about some heavy, major spoilers in this video, so if you haven't seen Star Wars The Force Awakens and you don't want the film to be completely ruined for you, then don't watch this video because I'm going to be talking in depth about very kind of spoilerific kind of things. So if you want my spoiler-free thoughts and opinions on the film, then make sure to check out my spoiler-free review where I give my overall thoughts and opinions on the film and don't touch on any spoilers. So if you don't want any spoilers, then make sure to watch my review. But in this video I'm going to be doing a spoiler talk for the film. So let's talk about it. First off, Kylo Ren. Awesome bad guy. I couldn't talk a lot about him in my spoiler-free review, but because obviously there's a lot of secrecy surrounding his character, who he is, what you know. But first off, I thought it looked great. I think visually he made a great bad guy. I loved the whole mask and the costume and everything. I loved how his voice sounded as well. It didn't sound, because a lot of the time you get in these kind of movies, the bad guys sound really kind of like, they all sound the same. They've just got a deep, dark voice just for the sake of it. But his voice sounded really cool, and obviously because it was the mask, slightly changing his voice. He sounded kind of a little bit like Bane, I thought. Kind of like Bane, Darth Vader type voice. It was just really cool. And then of course when he took the mask off, he sounded quite different, and it kind of really humanised him. And I like that because he was made this awesome, scary, imposing, powerful bad guy with the mask on, and then when he takes the mask off, he suddenly becomes way more human. I mean, he was still like cold and emotionless, but the fact that he was kind of this kind of young, little kind of inexperienced kid, really, it was like, whoa, it really helped kind of humanise the character and make you kind of like feel for him. You're like, wow, yeah, he's really kind of like messed up and mucked up, and you kind of understand where he's coming from because he's had a really kind of messed up childhood and life, and he's like been pulled to the dark side. But in that bit at the end with Han, he's like, I want to be free of this pain. You kind of feel for him. He's kind of like a tragic kind of character, like Darth Vader, and I think they make them the best kind of characters. It was way more, makes him a villain way more of a compelling character because he can they're not just bad for the sake of being bad, you get where they're coming from. And also, obviously his powers as well. I think it was really powerful with the Force. It was really cool whenever he was using the Force. It was like the sound of him using the Force, and he was just like freeze people, and he just like freezing Ray. He just can't shoot him, and how he was like interrogating people using the Force on them. It was just awesome. I love that. It was so cool. It's like really powerful with the Force. You could really feel it just from the sound. You could just feel the power he has, and I thought that was great. Really cool. Shown really well visually and with the sound. And then of course the major spoiler, him being the son of Han and Leia, Ben Solo, and I thought that was done well. I like the fact that they kind of like humanised him by making him the son of two of the most beloved original characters. So he's like the son of two good characters, but yet he's been drawn to the dark side. But I like the fact that even though he was a bad guy, he kept having this feeling inside of him, like these internal struggles, like he was these internal conflicts, like he was battling the light inside of him. He kept feeling like he was being drawn to the light, but he didn't want to. He wanted to stay on the bad side. And I like that because it's the same with Darth Vader. Even though he was a bad guy, he wasn't really, a bad guy. Obviously started off good, and he was like drawn back to the light, and he became good again at the end. But obviously Kylo Ren and none of the bad guys knew that, but apart from Luke. And I like the fact that he was like battling this light inside him. Like he's like the son, relative of all these good people, but he was fighting the light. He didn't want to go back to the light. He wanted to join the dark side and be bad. And obviously he completes that mission by killing Han Solo, killing his father, which is what the Emperor was trying to get Luke to do, but then Luke didn't. And I like the fact that Luke didn't end up evil. I really didn't want that to happen. I wanted Luke to be the exception, that he didn't get manipulated, he didn't turn into the bad side. But obviously it happened with Kylo Ren, so it didn't happen with Luke or Leia, but it did happen with the next generation. It did happen with Kylo Ren. And I like the fact that he was Han and Leia's son, but I just think the whole reveal could have been handled a bit better. I mean, it was just, obviously, like Empire Strikes Back, no, I am your father, that was iconic. But in this, it was just, I know they couldn't have lived up to what Empire Strikes Back did, and I don't think they could have replicated anything and done anything like that, but the fact that it was just Snoke just flippantly saying, "Oh yes, your father, Han Solo," it's like, it was just really kind of like flippantly revealed. It's like, I really feel like it could have been a lot more dramatic if it was revealed in a much more shocking and surprising way. I mean, I know a lot of people expected him to be Han and Leia's son, but I feel like maybe they could have like tricked us into thinking that he wasn't, and then revealed later that he was, in a much more, shocking, more dramatic way. I don't know, I think it could have been a lot better. I mean, they could have done like an Empire Strikes Back-esque kind of thing, like at the end of him before he kills Han Solo, if he kills him and then it's, "Forgive me, Father," or something. I think that would have been really good, but then it would have been kind of copying Empire Strikes Back in a way. I don't think it would have lived up to anything anywhere near as like what they managed to achieve. And I think a lot of people would have seen it coming as well. So, but I think the reveal could have been handled a bit better. The actual death of Han Solo, I think, was handled well. I was kind of annoyed, but it was more, I was disheartened because obviously I really like Han Solo. He's one of my favourite characters, if not my favourite character. I knew a major character was going to be killed off, and it wasn't entirely surprising it was Han Solo, because Harrison Ford has said he's wanted to be killed off for a long time now, so it kind of makes sense. But I was just, oh no, I was like, no, don't kill Han Solo off. But as soon as we got that scene on the bridge, I kind of knew it was going to happen. And like I said, it was handled well. It added depth and drama to it. And it showed that there was a lot of stakes as well, because in the original trilogy, the films are great, but you never really felt they were in any danger. They never get shot, never get like hurt or killed really. Where in this, the stormtroopers were much better aimed. People were actually getting hit. People were getting killed. And it felt really kind of real. You could feel like the explosions. You could feel it felt really real. It felt like real kind of action and drama was going down, and it felt like there were really high stakes as well. And of course, it was really personal as well with Kylo Ren being Han's son and all that. However, what I liked most about the film was the reveal of Rey being the Jedi. I thought that was so great, because obviously in all the posters and trailers, they all make it out as if Finn's the Jedi. He's on the poster with the lightsaber. In the trailer it's like, oh, the Jedi, and you see Finn. And then it turns out he doesn't become a Jedi at all. He doesn't have the Force, and it's actually Rey who's Force sensitive, and Rey's the one with the Jedi powers, and I love that. It is misleading marketing, but misleading in a good way, because then they hide the fact that Rey is the one who's good with a lightsaber, who's the one who has the Jedi powers, who has the Force, and I love that. I thought it was great. Because Finn was really cool, he was a great character, but I love the fact that they made Rey the one with the powers, and Rey's the one who's going to become the Jedi. I love that. I didn't really see that coming either, so I thought that was great. The final confrontation Rey has with Kylo Ren at the end of the film, I thought that was done really well. The whole lightsaber battle they have, because obviously Finn's taken out already in 2 seconds because he doesn't have the power of the Force. But then the fight that Kylo Ren and Rey have, I thought was great. Obviously everything's being like destroyed around, the whole planet's being like blown up, and then Rey kind of closes her eyes and kind of connects with the Force, and then she just like takes him down, which was so great. She was kind of like self-taught in a way. She was like learning her powers and kind of like teaching herself, and I thought it was great how she was able to tap into the Force and then just use her power to just take down Kylo Ren. I thought it was great, because I think a lot of people might be like, well, how is she able to do that so easily? But she has got these powers. She is, the Force is with her, and Kylo Ren's never really taken on any other Jedi before. He's never really taken on anybody else with a lightsaber, so he's not really experienced or trained as well either. So yeah. Another thing I really liked was Rey being this awesome pilot as well. The bit near the beginning of the film when she's flying the Millennium Falcon, I thought was great, and the whole reveal as well. I didn't see that going, oh, that's garbage. I thought, oh, garbage will do. Pan over to the Millennium Falcon. I was like, yeah, that was such a good reveal. I didn't even see that coming. I was like, yes, Millennium Falcon. And of course, her flying the Millennium Falcon, it was so awesome, that scene, that aerial chase, and then just like flying it through the wreckage of the Star Destroyer, like shutting the engine off, flipping round. So it was great. It was so good, and then her and Finn working together, it was awesome. So much fun to watch. And another scene I really liked was Rey using her Jedi mind powers on the Stormtrooper. I thought that was great. It was really funny as well. And the fact that I found out that the Stormtrooper in that scene was Daniel Craig. Obviously Simon Pegg revealed that Daniel Craig had a cameo in the film, and it was revealed that that Stormtrooper was Daniel Craig, and the first time I saw it, I didn't pick up on it, but the second time, knowing it was Daniel Craig, it was so funny because it was so obvious that was his voice. I didn't notice at all the first time, but knowing that it was Daniel Craig, it was even funnier because it sounded just like Daniel Craig, and it was like James Bond was a stormtrooper. It was so funny. We'll loosen these restraints and leave the cell with the door open. And then, and you'll drop your weapon, and I'll drop my weapon. It's so funny because it sounded like it was James Bond as a stormtrooper. Yeah, no, a great scene, really funny. And of course the bit when Kylo Ren's using the Force on her and then she kind of puts it back on him and uses the Force back on him, I thought was great. You were just afraid you won't live up to the power of Darth Vader. I thought it was great. That was a really cool scene as well. And of course the reveal of Luke right at the end of the film. A lot of people might not have liked that because obviously we wait the whole film and then we just see a tiny bit of him right at the end and it cuts off. But at the same time, I'm kind of glad they did that because it put the main focus on these really cool new characters, like Rey being the main central character and Finn there as well. And I think Luke would have taken away from some of that. And obviously he's going to have a bigger part in the next one, seeing as the reveal at the end there. And I like the fact that I thought it was a great way to end the film. I thought it was great. I mean, I would have liked if there was a little bit of a couple of lines there. I had a little conversation first, but I think it was a good way to end it, and it wasn't an annoying cliffhanger. I mean, if they cut it off in the middle of a big climatic action sequence, that would have annoyed me. If they did like a Hobbit Desolation of Smaug thing, like we were just about to get an action sequence and they cut it off, well, that would have been really annoying. But I think it was a good cliffhanger, and a great way to end the film. And of course, the rumour, well, I strongly believe that Rey is Luke's daughter. I didn't think so much the first time, but the second time watching it, I really think it's pointing towards her being Luke's daughter, and it would just make sense as well. I mean, maybe it's too obvious. Maybe it's just because I'm thinking this that I'm seeing these things now, but the fact that she's this great pilot and has all these skills and abilities, even though she's never done anything like that before, and it would make sense if she is Luke's daughter. That's how she's inherited those skills from him. And of course with her having all the Jedi powers as well, being really strong with the Force. The thing that points to her being the daughter of Luke the most, I think, was the fact that Luke's lightsaber is calling to her. And as Kanata says, oh, it was Luke's father's and it went to Luke and now it's calling to you. Well, why would it be calling to her unless she was the next in line, unless she was his daughter? And the fact that when she touches the lightsaber as well, she gets that Force flashback showing what happened, what went down between Luke and Kylo Ren. And as well as all that Luke stuff, we see also her being left on this planet as a young child and the ship leaving. So that would lead me to believe that after all the shit went down with Kylo Ren and Luke decided to flee into exile, that maybe like he hid the map in R2-D2, shut him down so that no one would be able to know, Kylo Ren would be able to get the map showing where he is. And then maybe he put Rey on this other planet, hid her away from Kylo Ren so he won't be able to find her, because he would know then that Kylo Ren would want to look for her, because he would know that she would be the only one with the power to stop him. But he went and hid her on this other planet and left. I don't know, I'm speculating here, but from watching the film a couple of times, it seems like it's pointing towards that. Maybe it's a little bit too obvious, maybe it isn't that, but I don't know, it seems like it would make sense that she is his daughter, I don't know. But anyway, I'm looking forward to what's going to happen in the next film, and I would assume, as soon as it's the end of this film, that Luke will be her mentor now and will be training her to become a Jedi. I think that would be awesome. She gets her own lightsaber as well. Me and my friend were thinking it would be awesome if she gets a double-ended lightsaber. She uses her staff a lot of the time. That would be awesome if she has like a lightsaber version of that, like a double-ended lightsaber. That would just be awesome if Luke was to make her own lightsaber. Because obviously she's going to give Luke's lightsaber back to him. And also, if Rey is Luke's daughter, then it would mean that Rey and Kylo Ren are cousins, which I think would be interesting. And I think it would make sense if there was a connection between them as well, because in the film he gets really annoyed when he finds out, like I said, about maybe he knew that he had a daughter and then he went and hid her away on this other planet so Kylo Ren wouldn't be able to find her. And of course in the film, when he finds out that they're accompanied by a girl, he gets really angry, so maybe he kind of knows that who she is and that she has the potential power to be able to stop him. And also onto Supreme Leader Snoke. I thought it was a great big bad, the big evil bad guy, overseeing everything. And I think what would make him so much more interesting if they revealed he was Darth Plagueis. It's the strong kind of rumour going around that he is, and it would kind of make sense. I didn't pick up on this the first time, but I found out that the music when we're introduced to Snoke is almost the exact same music as the scene in Revenge of the Sith when the Emperor is talking about Darth Plagueis. So that seems like too much of a coincidence. The scene in which the Emperor is talking about Darth Plagueis is the same music in the introduction to Snoke in this film. And it would be so cool as well if he was like this legendary, powerful Sith with he's like the power to bring people back from the dead. That would be so cool. I was thinking, how could you top the Emperor? He was like the ultimate bad guy, but then Darth Plagueis was the Emperor's master. The Emperor was Darth Plagueis' apprentice. And I know the Emperor says that he killed his master, but maybe he just thought he did. He said, oh, he didn't have the power to bring himself back to life. But maybe he thought he killed him, but he hadn't. Or maybe he did die, and then he actually maybe he brought himself back to life, and the Emperor didn't know about that. If it's revealed that Snoke is Darth Plagueis and that he's able to bring people back to life, because that would just be awesome. Imagine what the possibilities of what they could do going forward. If he has the power to bring deceased characters back to life, we could get like the Sith returning by the hands of Snoke. Like we could get like Darth Maul brought back to life, or maybe even Darth Vader brought back to life. I don't know. It would just be awesome. Like, maybe because obviously Kylo Ren's a massive fan of Darth Vader, and Snoke might think, ooh, Darth Vader is really powerful. Why didn't we bring him back to life to help us? And obviously the only ones that really know that Darth Vader turned good in the end was the Emperor and Luke, because obviously he turned good and then killed the Emperor, but obviously Luke's the only one that really knows about that. So Snoke and all the bad guys probably think that he was always this evil guy. If Snoke is Darth Plagueis, if he brought Vader back to life to help them, and then he ended up like just rejecting them and then going and helping Luke and Rey, Darth Vader teaming up with Luke and Rey to take on Kylo Ren and Snoke, how awesome would that be? Probably never going to happen in a million years, but who knows? Some wildly speculative theories there on my part, but you never know. So anyway, that wraps up my spoilerific thoughts on Star Wars The Force Awakens. I hope you enjoyed watching me talk about the film in spoilerific detail. If you like this video, make sure to click subscribe to see more. But for now, I've been David O'Sullivan. I'll see you next time.